Oops. Oops. Sorry, forgot to turn on the camera. All right. Hopefully, you guys can see me loud and clear. Let me know in the chat if you can't. I'm going to guess you guys can. I guess first thing, welcome. I don't know how many of you guys are on right now because there's a lot going on my screen. But thank you all so much for being here. This is a little nerve-wracking. I can see all the chats coming in. 85 people, thank you. 85 of you have decided to join me, which is honestly, I don't know what to expect. I don't really watch live content, so I'm going to think that's a lot of people because the fact that there's 85 of you watching me is amazing. So, with that said, I've got quite a bit to go through today. There will be Q&A. I do hope you guys ask questions during this because I will be trying to answer them as quickly and as often as possible. And we're just going to have a little bit of fun time. And I also hope that this puts to rest. Occasionally I see comments that I'm an AI person. I'm not. Yeah, here's my water bottle. Yeah, you can touch all the things back here. Here's a book on data, playful data. It's all here. All real. Anyways, okay. To get us started, there might be some lag. Sorry, guys. To get us started, let's go ahead and see where you all are from. I've seen a couple. I saw Tacoma, which is quite near me here in Portland. So Pacific Northwest represent. I want to hear where you guys are from. As I see them come in, I'm just going to say a little bit about what I know about your thing, or about your place, I should say. Northwest Oklahoma, welcome. Happy to have you here. Hopefully it's not too shaky. I know you guys get some earthquakes. Charlotte, North Carolina, awesome. Love having you here. What a cool city. Would love to explore more of North Carolina someday. Oh, Danville, California. That's fun. That's just south from me. Wilsonville, Oregon. Hey, Karina, you're right near me. That's really fun. Hey, we have our first international I can find, Brandenburg, Germany. Hey, wie geht es? I hope you enjoyed the show. I do speak a little bit of German, but I'm not going to speak too much right now. Oh, Liverpool, United Kingdom. I don't know what the end of the game was, but I don't think it was turning out too well for England when I left. India, thank you so much for coming in all the way from India. That's an incredible distance. 2-1 Argentina. Sorry for England. Looks like Argentina's back in the final. Tucson, Arizona. I just had some friends visiting down there. Looks like a beautiful area. Again, can't wait to visit. I know we have some tentative plans to go down to Arizona later this year. Hey, born in Vancouver, Washington. Again, my neck of the woods. Lived in Portland off of Killingsworth and 82nd. That's so close to where I am at right now. Hi from Hillsboro. Love to have you here. Texas, awesome. This is obviously, you know, we love to see all of where you guys are coming from just because I'm a geography person. So everything that I do and talk about is through the lens of geography. So just seeing the wide spread of everybody is very cool. Oh, Venezuela and Poland. I love to see some international people. Thank you both for being here. Venezuela, I hope that you guys are recovering from your earthquake a few weeks ago. Yeah, that's quite shaky. Obviously, we here in Pacific Northwest know that we're probably overdue for an earthquake as well, and hopefully we will last through that. Okay, let's get into the show a little bit. We've sort of done some introductions. You all know who I am. I am Geography by Geoff. We are going to do a lot of fun things today. We're going to be revisiting some history of the channel. But first, the reason why we're here, the reason why I'm doing this is because, well, we hit 1 million subscribers. And that is in large part because of everybody who is in the chat right now. Thank you all so much for subscribing to the channel, for watching me for the last, guess I've been doing this for 4.5 years now. There's a lot to talk about, but just to give you guys some perspective on like what this means, you know, I guess I'll start by saying it's so hard to get anybody to do really anything these days. You know, getting somebody to click something seems so trivial, right? Click a subscribe button. It seems so trivial until you actually try and do it. And once you're able to actually like get people to do it, then it's just about like the consistency of like, and like the fine tuning to like continue to hone your craft and continue to tell stories and like work on your niche, in which case it's geography, and really keep doing it and keep building. And that's essentially what I've been doing over the last 4.5 years. I started in January of 2022. I reached my first 100,000 subscribers, which was a momentous achievement back then, you know, when I did it, back in, I think, mid 2023. And now, you know, a few short years later, here I am with over 1 million. I think as of today, I am at 1,050,000. So I guess I'm getting pretty close to 1.1 million. Let me see some comments here. I see some more people coming in from, you know, Panama Canal, or at least you lived in the Panama Canal area. That's cool. Yeah. Anyways, all this is to say is the journey to 1 million has been incredible. It's an awesome feeling. I hope to get to 2 million and 3 million and more. Yeah, I guess we'll see. Just to answer a quick question I just saw pop up, does YouTube require content creators to ask for subscriptions? They do not. In fact, I don't really feel any pressure one way or the other from YouTube ever. They don't really ever reach out to me or really talk to me about anything. So I don't ask for subscriptions currently. I don't necessarily know if I will in the future. It's a whole complicated thing, but I guess we can get to more in depth when we get into the Q&A section. The other thing I want to do is, before we get into the actual show, which is, you know, primarily going to be doing the first video rewatch, is to open the gold plaque live with you all. I haven't seen it yet, and so I think that's going to be very cool. And just to be clear, I do have my 100,000 plaque here. It's kind of always been sitting in the background of all of my videos, and it's a little dusty because there's actually not that much to do with it once you do have it. But let's go ahead and open up the gold one and see. You can see, still taped. I waited for you all to do this, and so, because you are all a really big part of this 1 million, oh, another tape, this 1 million goal. There we go. That would have been very embarrassing if I had cut myself. Nice plaque. All right, just like last time, you get some YouTube stuff saying congratulations. This is from Neil Mohan, the YouTube CEO, apparently. I don't know, never talked to him. don't know who he is. And here we go, the gold plaque. Ooh, that, I mean, it's exactly the same as the other one, but gold. All right, very cool. YouTube. And, you know, I'd heard that they were going to be a different size, but they're actually still the same size. So 100,000, 1 million, very cool. Love seeing it, love having it. I guess it'll be up here on the back of my videos from this point on, or at least from the next few videos on. We are going to do something that's going to be kind of really hard to, like, for me to do, and that is, we're going to watch together my very, very first video. Before we do that, I'm curious, when did you first subscribe, or when did you first watch one of my videos? Because obviously there's only about, I think, 10,000 views on that very first video. It's not a whole lot of people have watched it. So I'm curious, when did you all, or what was the very first video that you might have tuned into? It looks like we have 2 to 3 years ago. Wow, that's actually quite old. About a year ago. Thank you, Sarah, I think it is your name. About 6 months ago, 2 to 3 weeks ago. Welcome off the charts. Thank you. At 400,000 subscribers. So that was actually quite a while ago. I think that was probably back in 2024, maybe mid 2024. 6 months, maybe. Great. So the reason why I ask is because before we watch this video, it is rough, I guess to say. And the way that I tell stories now, the way I tell geographic stories, has definitely evolved. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and do this. Here we go. If I do the screen share. Okay. So you guys should be able to see now on your screen the video. So it should say every person, one mega city right here. Again, it's my very first video. The power of population density. Again, every person in a single city. The inspiration for this came from, I saw these maps that somebody had made. I used to go on the Reddit page, Data is Beautiful, I think is what it's called. And somebody had pulled together this series of maps, and it was basically, if we all lived in a population density of Singapore, this is how much land we would take. And I was like, oh, that's such a fun idea. And I kind of decided to turn that into a video. So with that, I'm going to make the screen larger here.
As humans, we spread.
Okay, let me start this over. And we're gonna watch it, and I'm gonna stop it, and I'm gonna provide some commentary. Just know every single graphic, every map, I made myself, and the voice that I'm using is very much my I guess my professor voice, because I used to teach at Portland State University. Right around this time, actually, I was still teaching. So here we go.
As humans, we spread all across the world. But did you know that if we had to, we could all live in just one city the size of Texas? Today we're going to talk about population density.
Can I just say really quick? I love population density. I think it's one of the most fun. Oh wait, let me see something. Turn up the video sound. I will turn up the video sound. Sorry, my producer's on, and he's helping me make sure that you guys can all hear what we're gonna do. All right. Okay. Let's see how that works.
But did you know that if we had
a little louder,
we could all live in just one city?
Turning it up. Turning it up. All right.
Today we're going to talk.
All right. Let's try that. I think it's louder, but again, let me know inside the comments if you can't hear it. Because I can turn it up even louder. I think it's because my microphone is pointed directly at me and my speakers are kind of off to the side. So maybe I can sort of turn this as well and get a little bit more audio. It's a live stream. There's going to be, technical difficulties here. Okay, so let's get this going. Population density is what I was talking about. Such a fascinating subject, but obviously makes for a very dry subject. at least before I knew how to start framing things in sort of like a more interesting way. All right, let's keep watching.
We've spread all across the world. But did you know that if we had to, we could all live in just one city the size of Texas? Today we're going to talk about population density.
Also, fun fact, my channel has not always been called Geography by Geoff. It actually started out as something called Atlas Explains the World, which I thought was a pretty clever channel name at the time, but it didn't last very long. I think I only used it for like 4 videos.
Hi everyone, welcome to Atlas Explains the World, the YouTube
So
channel
young.
all about
So
geography,
young.
maps, and data. As you saw in the intro, today we're going to talk about population density. But first, let's do a quick introduction. My name's Geoff Gibson. I am a professional geographer and cartographer, and really all I want to do with this channel is explore topics spatially with fun maps and data. And I hope that's what you're into, because there's going to be a lot more of this kind of stuff coming. Okay, let's...
There was a lot more of that stuff coming. It just got a lot better than this is. Also, just so you guys know, the area that I'm in inside this video is still the same studio that I'm in. I just sort of rearranged things. I also have better lighting and better cameras. And yes, as you pointed out, there's no music. I didn't know what I was doing. I barely knew how to open Adobe Premiere at this point.
Let's get back to today's topic. So if you all enjoy maps, you've probably seen a map that looks something like this. This is a population density map of the United States.
It's a very cool
Hopefully
map,
the
actually. I really
orientation
like
isn't
this map.
confusing. But what it's showing is the peaks and valleys of population centers. So we can see the very high peak of New York City and the Northeast Corridor at large, and then the valleys in the areas surrounding it. In particular, the entire western half of the country is basically very sparsely populated, and even where it is populated, the density is relatively low.
It's very raw.
If you're familiar at all with population in the United States, this probably is not all that surprising. But it leads to our very first...
So, I mean, yes, it's it's very raw. This is a very raw video. There's some things that you sort of learn as you start to do this. And I'm sure, like, if you watch a lot of YouTube videos, you're going to notice, like, it's a lot more like quick cuts. You know, especially like for maps. Like these days, like our maps are sort of zooming in and out and sort of always swooshing around. There's a reason for that, and it's because it keeps people engaged. When there's like a map that's just sort of sitting there, people tend to get bored, which makes sense. Again, like I'm coming straight off of being like teaching in a classroom for making this video, and so like I'm used to working with slides at this point.
First question: what is population density? Population density is not that complicated. In fact, let's walk through it right now. This box is 1 square mile.
Oh boy!
And this box is 1 square kilometer. More on that later. Anyway, if we had
So
just one
professory.
person within our box, how many people per square mile would we have? Yeah, exactly. 1 person per square mile. Now let's kick it up a notch. If we had 10 square miles, and in each of those square miles we had 10,000 people, how many people per square mile would we have now? Well, if you said 10,000 people per square mile, you'd be correct.
Ugh, it's like such a lesson. It's like I'm teaching. I mean, this is like it just feels like I'm just teaching. That's all I'm doing again. It's so funny, the transition that I've made from being a teacher and a professional, like who had like a professional job, to like being more of an entertainer, and like how to emote and how to like actually talk so that people pay attention versus just like I don't know. It's like this is very hard for me to watch.
Population density is actually a pretty simple mathematic formula where you just take the number of
It's a
people
simple
you have in
mathematic
any given
formula,
area
guys.
and divided by the size of your area. Population density is not that complicated. And hopefully, if you already knew this, this was just a nice little refresher. Because it's really going to matter when we go through our maps in a few minutes. Now let's illustrate population density by using a few example cities. But first, I have a quick question for you. If I were to ask you between Houston, New York City, and Paris, which one was the densest?
Wait, hold on. Which one of these are the densest cities? Between Houston, New York City, and Paris. I got a Paris up there. Anybody else want to make another guess? New York City, Paris. Nobody's gonna guess Houston? That's probably wise. Okay. Well, I'm not going to spoil it for you because we're going to keep watching the video.
Which one would you choose? I'll give you a few seconds to figure it out. And in the meantime, if you're enjoying this video, please like and subscribe it. It really helps me keep my motivation going.
I don't think anybody liked or
do you have your
subscribed
answer?
from this video.
Good. Okay, hold on to it because we're going to run through our 3 cities right now, and we're going to use those same density boxes from before to illustrate the density of each city.
All right, here
First
we go.
up, we have Houston. Hopefully you did not guess that Houston was the densest of our 3 cities because
You
it's
really shouldn't
absolutely
have.
not. In fact, while downtown Houston looks like this, much of the rest of it actually looks more like this. Houston only has about 3,500 people per square mile. As far as cities go, that's really low density. Next up, we have New York City. Yes, that's right. New York is
I know,
a very
baby
dense
face,
city,
right?
but it is not in fact the densest of our 3 cities. New York has about 29,000 people per square mile as a whole. So let's add some people to our box. Of course, if you were to just take Manhattan, it would be almost 3 times as dense, which just goes to show that density can be manipulated depending on the area size you're using. And of course, the densest of our 3 cities.
It's Paris.
Paris has about 53,000 people.
Paris
per
is
square
very
mile.
dense,
Let's
guys.
go ahead and add those people to our box.
Let me change it. Let me add some more volume here. Here we go. Make it a little bit louder. Sorry, I'm very new at live streaming. I don't know how to like get the audio from my computer to go directly to you guys. So it's coming from my speakers into the microphone, all that kind of stuff. Okay. There we go.
As you can see, Paris is very
A little
dense, but it's also different in its density from our 2 American cities. While New York and Houston have very pronounced skylines, which often create a huge amount of density in relatively small areas, Paris is more spread out in its density, instead having mid-rise buildings basically everywhere. And look at that. Here's our 3 density boxes side by side. These boxes are pretty close to how each of these cities feel.
Thank you guys for the note about the sound, because that will come into play in a little bit. We're not quite done with our video yet. But yes, Paris, absolutely the densest of these 3 cities. Thank you, Pac-Man. I thought it was an interesting example too. I will say this is obviously from about 3 years ago. I don't think this ranking has changed, but I haven't actually looked at the recent density of Paris or New York City. This is also a period of time when I first started where I actually didn't know if I was going to do pure geography or if I was going to do more like urbanism kind of stuff, because I got my bachelor's degree in geography and I worked as a teacher in geography, but I have my master's in city planning and I was at the time working as a city planner. So I was kind of sort of riding both. I am very thankful I went into pure geography though. It's way more fun, I think. All right, let's keep going.
If you were to just walk around on any given sidewalk. Impressive, right? Okay, we've talked a lot about population density, so let's get to the meat of this video.
The meat.
The maps and the data. We are going to take each of our 3 cities, Houston, New York, and Paris, and visualize if every single person on Earth lived in a single city with the same population density as them. I hope you're ready because it's going to be damn cool.
Okay, one more question before we get to the riveting end of this very first video. I'm trying to remember the end. Well, dang, this is going to be hard. How much space do you all think humans, the entire population of humans, would live in, like, take up if we all lived in the density of Paris? Because, you know, I don't know. Well, I guess the video is going to show it, but I'm kind of curious if you guys want to take some guesses before then, because I think it would surprise you. We aren't like, as humans, we live everywhere, but we don't actually live very dense overall. Feel free to use like a state, Connecticut sized maybe, Troy for biodiversity, Connecticut, Arizona Joe guessing Texas. That's how much space we would take. Probably a good guess if you saw the thumbnail. France and Germany combined, also a really good guess. Ohio, the size of the Netherlands. That would be a very dense That'd be very dense mega city, Pac-Man. Size of Jacksonville, Florida. The size of Jacksonville, Florida is the size of Jacksonville, Florida. There's no more room over there. Okay, let's keep watching.
Today, there are about 7.9 billion people living in the world.
There's more now.
Our cities, by comparison, are tiny. But what if all 7.9 billion people lived in a city with each of our cities' respective densities? Well, it would look something like this. Here's Houston. As we can see, a single city with all 7.9 billion people would take up most of the continental United States. That's a lot of area, but compared with the world size, still fairly small overall.
I mean, like, that's kind of interesting, right? Like, I mean, there's over 8 billion people now, but if we all lived in, the relative, density of Houston, we would still fit in like a pretty small chunk of the world. Like, I don't know, it's just it's like one of those things like we don't really think about too much until, I don't know, it's just presented at us and you're just like, oh, really? That's crazy. Like, we could all have like a little suburban house, I guess. I don't know.
All. Next, we have New York. The Big Apple would take up an area just about the size of Texas. If we're talking about a single city, that's still pretty massive. But on a global level, that's actually not that much space.
Definitely not a lot of space.
And finally, we have Paris. A single megacity with the density of Paris would take up the size of just 3 states: Arkansas, Louisiana, and Mississippi. On a global level, that's a truly small size. In fact, I would argue that there are already areas within Europe and Asia that come close to that physical amount of space, but obviously without the same consistent density. But not all of these cities would look and feel the same, right? Remember, Houston mostly looks like this, New York like this, and Paris like this. Each is a pretty big step up from one another in terms of density, and you can feel that through these images. Of course, none of this accounts for what it would take to actually feed and supply a city the size of this. This is just a hypothetical example to illustrate population density in a fun way. That said, if we did all live in a single city with the population density of Paris, that would actually not be too bad. Paris is a beautiful city, guys. Hey, I hope this video taught you.
All right. That's enough of the video for right now. Let's go back to just me. Again, that was my very first. Were the school kids were? No, I mean, it was college. It was university. I taught at Portland State University for a few years, not as a full professor, just as an instructor. No, they were always cool. I feel like geography is one of those degrees or those classes that even if somebody's not getting a geography degree, they just kind of love it. So yeah, I think they were pretty cool. If you go back and you want to watch some of the older videos, you can. They're all still there. I haven't removed anything. I've made a couple videos that had just information that's no longer relevant, private, but I think it's just been like 1 or 2. So that's it. But you can go back and watch this one or any of the other ones. I think I have one on high-speed trains because, again, I was trying to do that for a little bit. Yeah, it's always fun. And if you're thinking about starting your own YouTube channel, what I will say is the biggest step you can take is to just hit that publish button. Because once you're published, then you can start working on how to make your videos better. You can create new videos, but you have to get over that hump and just publish because, one, your very first video is never going to be super great. You just kind of have to do it, and then you'll get better over time. All right. Still more to do. So the next thing I was thinking would be fun for us to do would be to, as a group, as a community, play GeoGuessr. Have you guys ever played GeoGuessr? I had played it once before this. I had never played it a significant amount, but I played it a little bit, and I was like, okay, this could be a cool thing to do with you all. So before I get started, let's do some ground rules. One, I'm not going to be the person making the guess. I will ultimately make the final decision, but I want you all to be the people who actually tell me where to go. I will provide hints if I think I know where it's at, but that's it. Okay. So with that, let's go ahead and jump into GeoGuessr. Okay, get back to my screen share here. Okay. Here we have GeoGuessr. Also, again, it's been a few years since I've played GeoGuessr. It didn't look like this the last time I played. Hey, another game, MapTap. David, thanks for calling that out. I haven't heard of it, but I think it'd be really fun. Okay, so let's do this. I think we go to single player, world, play the world, explore the world. There we go. Okay. I hope you guys can all see. Palaka Man, go Timbers. Absolutely. They start their first game, I think, tomorrow, back from the break, World Cup break. Okay, here we are. This is sort of what we're looking at. Looks like we are driving on the right-hand side. So somebody's guessing Europe. I would agree. Potentially. I don't know. Do these cars look... I guess they look kind of European, right? I don't think it's Ireland or Scotland because we're driving on the right-hand side, it looks like. Like, if you look at this car up here, or this truck. Northern France, sign-on building. Oh, let's see what that is. Let's see what this is. It just says self-service gas station. Scheisskeller. Sorry. Looks like a big open field. Germany. Okay, so it looks like we're definitely honing in on Europe. Okay, let's hone in on Germany because it really seems like you guys are focused on Germany. Probably because if I'm looking at all of these cars here, Audi, Volkswagen, BMW, there's a lot of German cars. Where are you guys feeling for Germany? I need to know more specifics. Are we thinking northern Germany? We thinking southern Germany? We have 1 minute 20 seconds. Bavaria. You're thinking Bavaria? I mean, it looks pretty flat, right? So obviously we can't be too close to the Alps. Hamburg. Southwest. Southwest like Frankfurt or Stuttgart. Tübingen. I'm gonna make a decision here soon, which is probably gonna be in between Frankfurt, Nuremberg, and Stuttgart. Around Saarbrücken. Alberto, where's Saarbrücken? Can you point me in a direction here? I see Augsburg. I see Tübingen. Many signs in English. Ooh, Troy. That's a good one. That's a good yeah, you're right, because look, if we look over here, limo, garage. All right. We're going to go ahead and do Augsburg just because we're running out of time. Let's see. Hemisphere, continent. Oh, it was Switzerland, guys. I mean, still, we got really close. I thought for sure it was in Germany as well, but Switzerland is not that far off, and they do share a lot of similarities. I would say, bravo. That was a good one. Let's do another. All right, here we are again. 3 minutes. Look over here. What's this say? Marina Grande Fabrica de... Is that French or Spanish? Grande, I think it's Spanish, right? We're still driving on the right-hand side. Some cars. So I think... Oh, there's a little. So we're in Spain. I think we're in Spain. Yeah, Lightning for Night, right? Lightning Fortnite, sorry. The Africa part is like Ceuta? I don't think this is Ceuta. Portugal. Why do we think Portugal? Let's see what's on this truck here. Palette espresso. Let's see. I mean, this definitely feels southern Spain to me. Valencia. Scroll back to the sign. All right, let's see. Let's try. You're talking about not the parking sign, right? The Marina de Grande. Let's see. That looks like Italian on the truck, but a truck could be from Italy all the way in Spain. Faro in Portugal. Okay, I'm gonna need a consensus here: Spain or Portugal. I think we know it's generally in this area. Spain. Okay. Oops. Sorry. Seems a little ahead. Let's see if this street sign gives us anything more here. No. Pavi Sobrado. The buildings look more northern. Okay. Oof. You guys are about split even on Spain and Portugal. I think Pac-Man. You'd go northern Italy, Pac-Man. Really? I don't know about that. This looks and feels very southern Spain, Portugal to me. Oh, Marine, really? Okay. Jonathan Ledbetter. Marina Grande is a municipality in Portugal. Is it in southern or... Oh, we got to make a decision. All right, we're going to go here. Guess. Oof. Hemisphere, continent, country. But we're on the others. We're sort of central Portugal, but we got the three right. Hemisphere, continent, and country. We are going to do one more quick game before we move on to our Q&A section. So let's do it. Hopefully this one's a little bit harder and gets us out of Europe. Okay. Here we are in a... This does look harder. This looks a lot harder. We don't have a whole lot of signage. We got some buildings over here that look... I mean, this looks dusty and dry. This could be sort of, you know, somewhere in Africa, sub-Saharan Africa. I can't quite see what kind of car this is, what the make is. What do you guys... Mexico, Brazil? Yeah, I could see both those. Brazil, sort of around like was the Pantanal, or something like that. There's some palm trees. I don't think Vietnam, Jonathan. That would be... I've not been everywhere in Vietnam, but when I was there last year, from north to south, it seemed very lush, much more lush than this. The stands. Oh, that's a good one too. Let's move up this way a little bit, because I do see a sign here. All right, here we go. Wait. Get to the sign. Yenikoi, Tabeklar, Yenikoi, and was that Katakoi? Anybody recognize any of those? Turkey. Oh, you might be right. Actually, I think Turkey has some has like a Katakoi or something like that, right? Here's some more signs. Kara Gosar. This is definitely looking a lot more Turkish, or at least the Latinization of the Turkish language. Okay, so we're definitely in Turkey. It's in the drier part. You think it's near Istanbul? Really mapped out? I mean, I guess it could still be, right? It just seems like Istanbul is such a large city. I feel like it'd have to be at least like a little far. And there's like, again, there doesn't seem to be anything around. Northern Turkey. Let's see. We only have about 30 seconds left, so I'm gonna have to make a decision soon. How are we feeling about, like, what about Central? near Iraq, Syria border. Timer's ticking. Timer is ticking. I'm gonna have to make a decision here soon, and I might just pick like right in the dead center. Maybe, actually, I think what I'm gonna do is pick sort of outside of Ankara a little bit. All right, here we go. We're gonna choose right here now. Ibos hemisphere, continent. We got the country. It was the southern central part. That was a lot of fun, guys. We nailed it. I would say that this is a highly geographic and geography tuned crowd, which does not surprise me at all. I would love to keep playing with you guys, and if I ever do a live stream again, I think I'll do this again with you all. But there's still a few more things and yes, absolutely, Robin. I'll check out this map tap. It seems like I think a number of you have recommended it, and it seems maybe like the new fun game to play. Okay, so with that, let me jump back into just my talking head. All right, I wanted to devote a few minutes to just some Q&A. You guys have questions, I have answers. I want you to ask questions about geography. You can ask questions about, a place that you want me to do. You can ask me about information. You can ask me about sort of the business of YouTube. I see one right here, Pac-Man, how did you get the name Byte? That I really love that you brought up, because obviously I just relaunched my Substack community to be called The Byte. A while ago, I needed to formalize my business into like an actual company, because this is kind of what I do now for a living. And I was looking for play on words between geography and media. And so I ultimately settled for my media company a name called Sound Bight, but the byte is spelled like the geographic feature, byte. And so I really liked that combination. Obviously, a sound is like a geographic feature as well, the Puget Sound. And so now here I have Sound Bight Media, and then I ultimately went with, Bytes, the Byte for my community, and then, little, I guess, announcement. We are going to be launching a brand new channel called Bite Sized that'll be highly focused on like smaller stories that are still highly geographic. So you guys can stay tuned for more information about that. They should be a lot of fun, and of course, it'll be using the Byte term as well. I did have a comment from earlier that I wanted to get to from QC Suppressor. Will I make a video on San Andreas Fault and others? Actually, yes. So I have made a video about the San Andreas Fault. There's one about sort of like why California hasn't received its quote unquote big one yet. And so like that was a really fun video to do. Go check it out, because it was actually quite surprising, especially with like how much the Salton Sea plays in that potential. I think later this year, early next year, Alexa and I are planning on doing a road trip down California where we're going to talk all about the San Andreas Fault. So we're going to start sort of up in the very far north, and we're going to sort of make our way down, making key stops at places where you can see the San Andreas Fault, all the way down to, again, probably the Salton Sea. Should be a lot of fun. All right, let's move on. Can I do a documentary? This is from Tum74. Can I do a documentary on why there are palm trees in Sochi, Russia at 43 degrees north? I didn't know that. And I can absolutely look into it. I feel like being a geography content creator is both the easiest and hardest job in the world, because one, it's easiest because I'll never run out of content for that exact reason. Why are there palm trees, in Sochi, Russia? But then two, why? Two, it's the whole world is, there's too much content to make, right? There's like, how do I whittle things down and actually create stories out of some of these things that are interesting and can be told in like a fun and engaging way? So To move on, let's see. From MM Carolinas, do you ever worry about running out of content or having content diminish in popularity? Again, no, I don't. I definitely don't worry about running out of content. I can make there geography. So if you guys are big fans of mine, you might remember I used to have a podcast with my friend Hunter Shobi, and it was called Geography is Everything. And that was a lot of fun. And we took that, phrase, that title very seriously, in that we can talk about literally anything through the lens of geography. And so I'm never going to run out of content. I guarantee it. Moving on, mapped out mapped out YouTube, I'm going to guess. What impresses me a lot is how quickly your videos are released, still at high quality. Do you have any tips for a quicker workflow producing videos? So I guess just so everybody's aware, we watched that very first video. That was all done by me. I now have a team, right? So sitting here inside the chat is my producer Josh. That he really helps make sure everything comes out on time. He's basically the sole reason why we're able to do 2 videos a week now. I also have animators and editors and people who do the videos and make them look so good. I know how GeoLayers works, which is like a piece of software that runs inside Adobe After Effects, which allows you to make those like cool, like swishy maps. But I'm not super great at it. So like I really rely on like a team of people to help me do this. At this point, I am a writer and a talker, and I guess researcher, because I have to read and everything. This is and that's great because that's what I love to do. If I could just write all day every day, that's what I would do probably. Including like I like to do creative writing too. That's not really for anybody else, but for me. Next question, Troy, for biodiversity, how many days per year do you travel and how many trips? Geez. It changes. So last year, when Alexa and I started our travel channel, GeoLex, geolex.travels, in case you guys want to go find it, we traveled. We were probably traveling a good 3/4 of the year. We did 4 months through East Asia, Southeast Asia, Australia, and New Zealand. We did 3+ months all throughout Europe. We went to Northern Africa and Spain. So we were not home very often. This year we're home a lot more, and we're doing a lot more local trips, throughout the Pacific Northwest. Right now we have videos coming out in the Northeast. But we're also getting married later this summer, so we're trying not to do too much travel and focus more on stories we can tell closer to home. Next year, we'll probably flip back a little bit, where we'll do a lot more international stuff. Let's see. Another question. If you're going to the Columbia River Gorge, this is for Kelly Hazel. You're going to Columbia River Gorge on Friday. You have a permit for 5 p.m. Where the chances parking will be full at Multnomah Falls. I don't even know if the permit's going to get you there, to be honest. Any suggestions on Hood River spots? Hood River is an amazing place, Kelly. It's not going to need any suggestions. It's very small. You can sort of see everything. Go down by the waterfront. Small tip, though, most people don't know this. It's the only open carry for alcohol in Oregon. So you can technically get a beer from a brewery, and you can walk around town with it. You can ask the bartenders. They'll tell you. Let's see. We'll do a few more here. Do I, from Palakaman, sorry. Do I have a favorite form of travel? Of course, trains. I love taking the train as many places as possible. I'm fascinated by trains. I think trains are such a fun way to see part of the world that we just don't really get to see because they go places we don't really get to see. So like when you take a train through the Rockies, typically it's just the train going through that part. So it's very cool. I love it. Let's see, what do we have here? let's see, Robin Dahlquist. I hope I pronounced that right. Uh, Maybe it's been brought up before, but what's your background in geography? Um, yeah, I mean, it has, but I'm not on a whole lot of podcasts, so it's like, when do I really get to talk about this? Um, I I guess going all the way back, I've always been one of those kids who loved maps. I used to play these really old role playing games called Final Fantasy, and you sort of have like this overworld map, and you sort of like travel around. I feel like that's sort of what gravitated me towards maps as a whole. And I used to play a game called Civilization, which it's kind of like a geography game. Um, that ultimately led me to picking geography as a major for my undergrad. And so I did that, and ultimately I went into city planning because I needed a profession. And that's city planning is very similar to geography in a lot of ways. It's just sort of city geography. Um, and then I've always been, on the creative side. So I sort of started leaning more into um, content creation, and how do I get back to geography, as a pure thing that I can actually do for a living. So yeah. Okay, two more. I'm gonna do two more. Warhorse 26. Hey Geoff, love all the videos you've made. How do you find time to do research for the videos and places you record your videos while you travel all over the world? Yes. So again, I have a team. I've been very lucky that I have a team that really allows me to focus on doing research and writing for Geography by Geoff. For Geolex, I do writing, but Alexa, make sure all of this gets uploaded and looks great, and is working with the all of the different contractors that we have, including like our amazing animators and editors. Last question, it's a cute one. Kimberly in the Wild, how did you and Alexa meet? How did the idea for your channel come? Sort of a two-part question. Alexa and I met at work. We used to work at the same nonprofit, and yeah, we met there, and one thing led to another, and now almost 4 years later, I think, a little over 4 years later, here we are. We're about to get married. It's been really fun. Doing this alongside of the relationship, because now obviously Alexa is so integral to the content creation. And yeah, Alexa is a treasure. I agree. That's why I'm marrying her, actually. It's just been really fun. Like, now she's part of it, and we're able to do this together and just have a lot of fun with it. And how did the idea for my channel come? I had always really wanted to make videos for like telling stories. I used to make really fun maps, and then I wanted to like tell stories with my maps. I didn't really have the courage until a former coworker of mine, who's now also a pretty large YouTuber, a guy named Ray De La Gente. He does City Nerd. We used to work together. He was my project manager at one of my old jobs. And then like I just see that one day he's like, I have a YouTube channel, and it's it's successful, and I'm doing things, and I was like, oh, like it like kind of broke down the mental wall, and I was able to actually do it. So it was a lot of fun. One last question: do I love the Trailblazers from Alberto Fontana? Of course. Love the Blazers, love the Timbers, love the Thorns. I haven't been to a Fire game yet, but I would love to. I'm a big homer for Portland, Oregon. So if we have a sport team, if we have basically anything, I usually promote it pretty heavily. Okay, so we only have a few more minutes left, and I'm gonna have to close it out. And for one, I don't know if you guys can tell, I'm losing my voice a little bit. It actually takes a little bit of water. I've also already recorded a video today, which takes a lot out of me. Okay, there was one thing I wanted to do, which I thought would be really fun. Let me see here. Before I do that, I'm just going to load this up. I'm going to show you guys my my audience geography, so that you guys can sort of see where you're all coming from. Yes, Joe Hamlin. I am a pickles man. Love the pickles. 100%. Okay. Okay, so here we go. Let me just get this up. Here we go. Top geographies. Okay. Seymour. Okay. Let me go into here and we'll get into my screen share. Okay. So, top geographies. You can sort of ignore. Actually, I'm going to just get rid of this. We don't need to show the chart. I thought this would be a lot of fun because, you know, this is all about geography, and obviously there's a geography to my channel. So I thought it would be fun if you guys sort of saw where most people are coming from. I don't think there's any big surprises here. It's very heavy on the Anglospheres, right? So United States, United Kingdom, Canada, and Australia. And then, of course, you know, India has a lot of English speakers. And so none of this is really all that surprising. But if we do jump into the States, because I know a lot of you are from the States, we can kind of see California, Florida, Texas, New York, all the top 4. Again, not a surprise. Those are the 4 largest states by population in the country. But then we have Washington. Love to see my PNWers. If I'm being honest, Oregon. Guys, what are you guys doing here? Let's up these numbers. I'm here in Oregon. I'm a favorite son of Oregon. No, I think this is just really cool. I really like that I can see this, and I think that I love that there's so many of you from around the world watching me, that from around the States watching me, from Canada watching me. I wonder actually, because I do love Canada. I'm a big Canada fan. If I jump into Canada here, I can see. Okay, Ontario, British Columbia, love British Columbia, Alberta, Quebec, Nova Scotia, Manitoba. You know, awesome. Love having you all here. Love my Canadians. I will actually be up there not too long from now, Vancouver Island specifically. Yeah, fun stuff. So I'm just going to jump back in here. I have a lot of really fun videos coming out soon. You know, we have I have a video coming out about Liberia in Africa, which is just one of the most insane stories I've ever had to write. And it was one of those stories that, you know, you kind of hear a little bit about until you kind of hear a little bit about, but you don't really know the full story until you start like digging in. You're just like, it's like kind of like a page turn. You're like, what? That's crazy. So look forward to that. That'll be coming out, I believe, next week. I also have a video coming out tomorrow for Newfoundland and Labrador. So look out for that. That goes out to my Canadians. Again, I always love to give Canada some love. Over on my travel channel, yes, exactly. Yes, yes. Over on my travel channel, I'm still in the Northeast. So I'm going to Mount Washington in New Hampshire next week, and then Alexa and I will be in Maine for 2 episodes. That was a really fun time. I loved exploring New England. I can't wait to get back, and maybe this time, you know, go down to Rhode Island and Connecticut, because that time I went north to New Hampshire and Maine. Although that said, I also need to include Vermont, so I don't know how I'm going to make that work. But those logistics are for me and Alexa to figure out. And with that, guys, so fun. I really, really loved doing this with you. When I came into this, I didn't know if I was going to ever do a live stream again. I think I probably will. It probably won't, you know, be, you know, every week or anything like that. But I would love to be with you here. And once again, thank you all for allowing me to hit 1 million subscribers. So with that, thank you all, and see you around. Oh, one more thing. If you see me in Portland, you see me anywhere, come by and say hi. I love to meet you guys. Always. Don't worry about it. All right. Bye.